Let's move on now to the Washington Commanders and our first round prediction series. But before we do that, Ryan and I, we have a special announcement. We are going live on YouTube on April 27th at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time to watch the first round of the NFL draft. So be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you can get notified when Ryan and I go live and also when we release new content. Join us and provide commentary, provide your takes on who the Commanders draft and who other teams draft, and if you like them or not. So, Ryan, that being said, let's talk about the Commanders
Let's do
who
it.
fell just short of make the playoffs last year and showed a lot of positive signs, I think, overall as a team. I think they were having a QB battle on who could just make the team stink less, essentially. Taylor Heineke was trying his best, playing to his full capability, but I think time had kind of run out, and team really liked to see what Sam Howell has to offer now, and they also brought in Jacoby Brissett. Carson Wentz, bye-bye. I think I can speak for all of the Commanders fans that don't let the door or Dan Snyder kick your ass on the way out. And so, well, I guess he's gone too. So, but anyways, so coming into this draft, they've addressed the offensive line position a lot. They've gotten Nick Gates. They have signed Trent Scott, Andrew Wiley as well. And to me, they can absolutely still address the offensive line. But to me, I think there's one clear spot that I feel like that just kind of fits for them right here. And that is secondary. I feel like this is going to be kind of where Joey Porter Jr., Deontay Banks, maybe even Brian Branch falls in. And if you kind of look at it, this team, they're in my opinion, a good receiving room. I think maybe can improve a little bit in the running back room, but they can do that later in this draft. Quarterbacks can still some question marks. Offensive line they've addressed, they can address later. Defense, front seven is great, but secondary is the weakest part to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you look at this team, they have an elite front four. They have some linebackers that can play, and then on the back end, they just don't really have a lot. And like you said, Joey Porter Jr., Deontay Banks, I really like. I have a little bit of a draft crush on Deontay Banks. He's just so freaking athletic, and like it shows up all over his tape. And I think if you get him in the right system and you get him the right coaching, you can limit his natural want to be physical with guys, because there are times he just throws guys to the ground. Like it's not it's clearly a pass interference or a defensive holding. And I think you want to rein that back in without losing his ability to mirror and press man. And I think the Commanders could be a place for him to go and do that. He will get a lot of playing time as a rookie there. And I think that would be a really stellar fit. If they want to go in a little bit of a different direction, Joey Porter Jr. is not quite as athletic, but has a little bit more of like the NFL pedigree and maybe a little bit more refined right now coming out of college. And I think they could go that route as well. So I like the secondary pick there. You mentioned this before we recorded this video. I think another place that they could definitely invest in would be offensive line. I don't think if they do that they would maybe do that 16. Maybe they would move back into the 20s. I think a John Michael Schmitz would then come into play. The only way I would see them picking at 16 is if like a Peter Skoronski falls to them, which would just be absolutely insane. And yeah, I don't think that would happen. But I think if they do want to address the offensive line, they would trade back and then do it in the 20s. So
I think that is a kind of good route for them to go. Potentially, maybe they could get a receiver or a tight end because Logan Thomas is getting up there in age, but it just corner to me. I think is going to be the best spot. I think that's going to where they're going to get the best value, and so any potential chance. And I'll say this here because I know this has been obviously a popular offseason topic leading up to any draft, but quarterbacks are huge. Let's say Will Levis falls or Anthony Richardson falls. Do you think the Commanders get aggressive? And also, Commanders fans, leave a comment down below if you want them to go get a quarterback or if you want them to kind of go with Sam Howell and see how he does this year.
So if Will Levis falls to you, then I think maybe you take a shot on Will Levis at 16 if he falls to you.
Mm-hmm.
And Richardson, I think you're going to have to definitely trade up into the top 10. The draft capital is going to be immense for that. And I don't know if it would be worth it. But at the same time, if you're asking me who would I rather have play quarterback in 2023 for the Commanders, Sam Howell or Anthony Richardson, I would probably say Anthony Richardson. I think you look at what Ron Rivera was able to do with Cam Newton, and then like that gets me pretty excited. So
yeah, but Cam Newton was a much better he was a much better thrower than Anthony Richardson is right now. Same arm strength, but he was more accurate.
I agree and disagree.
Okay.
Yes, he was more accurate, but Cam Newton, everything he would throw would be a laser. Like he had no touch on the football. Anthony Richardson has actually shown to have touch on the football. And Anthony Richardson is a better athlete than Cam Newton. He's the same size, but he ran a 4.41 and a better 3-cone.
Yeah.
And it's not like Cam Newton coming out of college was Trevor Lawrence or like a Bryce Young where he's lighting teams up and throwing the ball all over the place.
Well, he was lighting teams up. And that season at Auburn, he was the Heisman candidate, first overall pick. Like, yeah, I think that where Cam Newton was at, where Anthony Richardson at, I think is a big difference. Let's go back to the Commanders. I agree with you. I don't know if I would want to trade up a first round pick for someone who is going to be competing for a quarterback spot for someone that you drafted last year. Yeah, but it's Anthony Richardson is not Cam Newton. It would be a much more intense, I think, QB battle, I feel, than with Sam Howell and Anthony Richardson. And Jacoby Brissett still has a little bit of game as well. He's that veteran quarterback who is probably going to be the backup, but like, hey, just in case, please play well. But so I would say if one of them fall to him, I think it's a legitimate question and serious question, but I don't think that they're going to trade up. I think that they are going to, which I think is a smart move if you look at the long-term success for the franchise, because let's say the Commanders are in a really tough division. You can make a serious argument. Actually, it's not really much of an argument because it's probably a fact that the Commanders are the worst team in the NFC East. So it's very possible that they're picking in the top 10 next season.
They were the worst team in the AFC East or NFC East this year, and they are picking at 16. Like, that's not.
Oh no, I know, but what I'm saying is that they could go farther down even. Even won a couple of games against the NFC East teams. The Giants only got better. The Cowboys only got better. The Eagles are still arguably the best NFC team, and now they're going to be going up against all three of them. It's really a tough division, and they're going to be going in with a rookie, not a rookie quarterback, but a second-year quarterback that was taken in the 5th round that only played one game last year. Yeah, if that is a starter, it could be a very interesting year. And so I think if you're looking at the long-term success, staying at 16 and getting a cornerback, or if a QB falls, then maybe you can have a conversation there if you want to go that route. But getting a Joey Porter Jr., Deontay Banks, if you really like Darnell Wright, or if there's a trade back offer that you just can't refuse, and then you can bring in other players, linebackers, for example, Jack Campbell has been mentioned a lot, depending on how far back you go. Some interior offensive linemen, Osiris Torrance, so to say, maybe Steve Avila, John Michael Schmitz, as you said, to help out with the offensive line and protecting this young quarterback and this young running back. So that to me is probably the route that I would want to see the Commanders go.
Yeah.
If also, I'm a Commanders fan.
If the Sam Howell project doesn't really work out, then you can look into quarterbacks coming into a much better situation in 2024. So absolutely, I like that route as well. But let's go ahead. Let's wrap up the Washington Commanders there. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and smash that bell so you get notified when Tyler and I create new content. And leave a comment down below on what you want to see the Commanders do in the 2023 NFL Draft. And last but not least, Tyler and I, we are going live for the 2023 NFL Draft. Only the first round, but go ahead and go over to our channel and go ahead and mark the bell on that video so you get notified when we go live, and you can tune in and see our live reaction to all of the 31 draft picks. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.